Array missing. Imagine walking into a server room at a major government agency, perhaps a place like the New York State Office of Information Technology Services, where you might work one day, and the entire main storage volume has simply vanished from the network. The operating system is running, but the massive redundant array of independent disks that holds all the critical databases is completely missing. This is a terrifying moment, but as you prepare for your CompTIA A+ Core 1 exam, you must tackle this logically. To secure your perfect score of 900 and to build the exact skills you will need for your future digital forensics studies at the university, you have to understand that when an entire array goes missing, the hard drives themselves are almost never the actual problem. The problem is a massive failure in communication. Let us break down exactly where this communication breaks down. In an enterprise server environment, the individual hard drives do not plug directly into the motherboard like they do in a standard home computer. Instead, they slide into a massive metal housing called a backplane. That backplane connects through heavy data cables to a dedicated hardware controller expansion card. This controller card is the absolute boss of the storage system. It takes all those individual physical drives and mathematically combines them into one single logical drive to present to the operating system. If the operating system suddenly cannot see the array, your very first troubleshooting step is to determine if the boss is still awake. You must restart the server and look closely at the power on self-test screens. You are looking for the specific prompt to enter the storage controller's configuration utility. If you cannot even get into the controller's basic input-output system, or if the server motherboard completely fails to detect the expansion card, the controller has likely suffered a fatal hardware failure. The microchip on the card may have burned out. In this scenario, the user's data is still perfectly safe and resting on the physical hard drives, but the bridge to reach that data has collapsed. Your professional repair is to completely power down the server, physically remove the dead controller card, and replace it with the exact same make and model. The new controller will read the mathematical parity data that is physically stamped onto the drives and gracefully import the entire array back to life without losing a single file. However, what if you boot into the controller's configuration utility and the controller is awake, but it says the array is missing or offline? This means the controller is working, but it cannot see the physical disks. In this hardware scenario, you must immediately check the physical backplane. If the power supply cable that feeds electricity to the backplane becomes loose or burns out, all 6 or 8 hard drives will lose power simultaneously. The controller will suddenly see a completely empty enclosure and mark the entire array as missing. You must open the server chassis and rigorously verify every single power and data connection between the backplane and the motherboard. Finally, you must be prepared for a logical software issue. Let us imagine the server boots up, you enter the hardware controller utility, and it says the redundant array of independent disks is perfectly healthy and optimal. But when you boot into Windows, the drive is completely gone. This means the hardware is functioning perfectly, but the operating system has forgotten how to speak the controller's language. This is almost always caused by a corrupted or missing device driver. If a recent Windows update accidentally overwrote the specific storage controller driver, the operating system will simply ignore the massive array because it does not know what it is looking at. To troubleshoot this on your certification test, you would open the Windows Device Manager, look under the Storage Controllers section for a device with a yellow exclamation mark, and manually reinstall the correct manufacturer drivers. Mastering this exact separation between the physical backplane, the hardware controller card, and the operating system drivers is crucial. It will ensure you effortlessly pass your exam, and it will give you the rock-solid foundation you need to handle complex, high-stakes digital evidence when you advance into your cybersecurity career.